Hello physical fiends, how are you doing? It's Jordan here with another physical discounts video. This time it's exclusively Play Asia. They've got a Nintendo Switch sale going on. Not a huge amount of video games, but there are some tasty morsels in there that I think you should check out. Links are down below in the description for all of them, and if you purchase something via the link, you help support me at the same time. I don't believe you can use my discount code on these, so apologies for that. And if you add anything else that is not in the sale, together with one of the games that is in the sale, you still won't be able to use the discount code. It's just a weird thing with their site's coding, so I'm sorry and just be warned. SaGa Scarlet Grace Ambitions is only $23 on Nintendo Switch for the Hong Kong edition, which does have English. In fact, it's the only version that has English. This is a JRPG in Square's SaGa series, and if you've been hyped up about the recent release of the remake of Romancing Saga 2, then this is a fantastic price to try and hoover up the rest of the series. This was initially a Vita game and has been available digitally on the Switch for years, but then not so long ago it finally got a physical release that had English. The Japanese version did not have it. I have purchased this already when it was at its previous lowest price on Play Asia. I think it was like $27, so now it's at its even cheaperisty price. I don't know how to say that. Not bad for a JRPG. Yes, it's a full-blown JRPG for 23 bucks. SaGa Frontier, for me, is the better game though. Same series, but rocking the classic PS1 era of JRPG-ness when everything was pretty much gold, especially from Square. And this is a bit more, standardized compared to the rest of the series. It's still structured differently from a normal linear JRPG, but it feels like it has the same kind of vibe of something normal. I really enjoyed it, and I like pretty much everything about the game, and I think it is the best in the series. I haven't played all of them, of course, but for me, this Asian exclusive release for $23 is perfect, and I highly recommend it to JRPG fans, especially from the PS1 era. Romancing Saga Minstrel Song may not be an import exclusive for very long, since early next year there is a version coming from Red Art Games in Europe and North America, but I doubt it's gonna be $28. Okay, so this version only has English, unlike the Western one, which will have more European languages, but if you're only after English, then it is a good price. This is the Hong Kong release with the slightly more exuberant box art compared to Southeast Asia, which I know some people will like more. Personally, I'm still undecided. I think they're both a bit weird. Citizens Unite is crazy, $13 for the Japanese edition. Sure, Limited Run did this in North America and it is available like cheap enough, but not $13 cheap. And if you enjoy games like Earthbound and the Mario and Luigi RPGs, then you will definitely enjoy this. It's an indie game, but there's a ton of content, because initially these were two separate games, but the dev cleverly sewed them together to make one giant game with two intertwined stories for the Switch version. Very clever and definitely worth $13. Deadcraft is $20. This is the cheapest that it's been on Play Asia and is another import exclusive, one that I'm surprised about since it seems like a game that was made for Western audiences. Its publisher is a medium-sized one, Marvelous, like they have a strong foothold in Europe and North America with Xseed, and it's an action survival game that looks a bit bonkers, and for just $20 for an import exclusive like this, I think it's a decent time to jump on board and see what it's all about. Ray's Arcade Chronology is supposed to get a physical release in Europe with strictly limited games, but with the absolute backlog of games they've yet to produce, who knows if the Switch version is ever going to get made. Not to worry though, because if you don't want your money in limbo and you actually want a bargain, you can buy the Asian release, which plays in English for just $25. I think that's a fantastic price. You get 3 classic 32-bit shooters, but also a couple of variations, so you get 5 games in total, and that's perfect in my opinion. These games were ported by M2, so they've done a good job, and I've been waiting for a small discount myself, so I have personally bought it for this price, like right now. Guardian Tales for Nintendo Switch. This is a very peculiar import exclusive since on the eShop it's a free game, but this Asian physical has a cartridge and you get like loads of bonus items or something like that. It is incredibly inessential. I think of it more as like a curiosity for game collectors. You know, $23, yeah, it's inessential, and it does require an internet connection to play, so I don't know what's going on, but I just think for $23, if you're a collector and you want something really weird, why not? I mean, will it be cheaper than this? Who knows? The Smurfs mission Vileaf. This is not an import exclusive, but I'm mentioning it because the Asian version of this is just $13. And if you don't care about which region your games are from, like the Chad that you are, then I think this is a bargain. Having just played a bit of Smurfs Dreams and enjoying it, I am interested in trying, more of the recent games in the franchise. It seems like Microids are making some commendable games with this license. The Last Spell is not an import exclusive either, but I highly doubt you're going to find the Western physical for $13. Limited Run did this in North America and Pix and Love in Europe. This is an action strategy game that's supposed to be pretty awesome. Looks like an old school style game, maybe a bit busy on the Switch compared to like, a PC monitor. I can't imagine the suffering some may have in handheld mode with all the tiny text and stuff, but this Hong Kong release is really, really cheap and it does have English. I think it's worth a punt as long as you don't mind the game region in your collection. Assault Suit Leynos 2 Saturn Tribute is getting a Western physical release via Clear River Games in the future. Because they're pricks, they took the promised English out of the Asian release for them. Yeah, they took English out of this release so they could keep it for themselves. But if you don't care about the unimportant story in an arcade-style game, and you don't want to support scummy practices like that, how about the Asian version, which is on sale right now on PlayAsia? The standard edition is just $20, which it certainly will not be when Clear River Games, and probably, I'm guessing, Limited Run will do it in the future. Plus, here they have the collector's edition discounted too for $36, which is probably the price it's gonna be when it does release in the West, just for the standard edition. But this includes a soundtrack CD, a fan book, and some like reversible jacket. I think that's very tempting. And finally, do you remember Dreamcutter? It's probably Funbox Media's most popular saucy game. It sold a lot, and in fact their main partner, VGP, completely sold them, and including a small restock. However, it seems PlayAsia can't shift their copy, so they've been discounted to $35. And remember, this includes a steel book. It's an action platformer, and the physical includes exclusive naked content compared to the digital release. It was surprisingly popular. I'm not sure why, but if you missed it or you were on the fence about, whether you were interested or not, this is a nice opportunity to buy it for a good price. Now, this is not all of the discounts they have. They have a handful more, and if you want to check the full list, there is a link to that too, just for the massive list of all of them. I say massive, it's not massive, there's a few more. And if you do purchase anything, I thank you greatly from the bottom of my heart, because it supports me and this channel ever so much to keep producing great content for you. Is it great content? I don't know. Maybe it's useful content, right? It's Friday, and I hope you all have a magnificent weekend. I'll see you all later. Take care.